Hey everybody, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. So today we are going to be doing Naruto and Sasuke when they meet for that first time. You know, at the start of Shippuden, that classic scene where Sasuke sort of floats down and puts his arm on Naruto's shoulder. Really sort of cool moment in the whole Naruto thing. Can't believe I haven't drawn it already. So, let's go. I'm on landscape orientation paper. Use pencil and eraser and hit pause if I go too fast when I move my hand, okay? So we'll start with Sasuke and we'll start with his face, right? So center point of my page is about here. And I would say that's where we'll sort of, that'll be like Sasuke's shoulder maybe. Because like bang in the middle and then Naruto here, Sasuke here. So we'll just go over and so center point about here. We'll just come over a little bit and we'll put Sasuke's head in about here, right? So we'll come over and just up a tiny little bit from the center line, so up, and we'll start with his eyes. So he's in sort of base form, like base eyes. He doesn't have a Sharingan activated or anything. So we'll just go up, diagonal, and then we'll bring it over. Classic sort of Naruto eye. So some of this eye is covered with his hair, right? But we'll draw it in anyway, and we can erase it afterwards. And then we go diagonal down. Do this sort of hook, and if you want you can thicken up the top eyelid like a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit thicker. Right, and then bottom eyelid just down here comes across and up towards the corner here. So a lot of this corner is like cut off by hair. So then his iris is just that black circle, so we'll do like a curved line here, comes around underneath, back up to the top. Right. And if you want, you can color it in black. We might as well do it now. We'll leave a highlight, right? So we'll just draw a circle here, and then we'll color the rest in. Something like that. So drawing eyes like this with a highlight, there's kind of two ways of doing it. You can draw that circle and leave the page white, or you can use something like this, like Tipex is what we call it here, or I think it's whiteout in other countries. So it's just like a white, kind of like paint or something. You could use paint if you have paint, and you just add a little dot, you know, to your black part. So there are two ways of doing highlights in a drawing. So we'll move over and do his eye, right? The other eye. So eye width will fit in between two eyes, right? So here to here is about an eye distance, approximately. You'll be able to fit in between. Naruto's eyes are in proportion. So we'll go across again, and then diagonal down, and then you can thicken this up a little bit if you want. Right, and then bottom eyelid again, diagonal, and then bring it across. Roughly like this. And then his iris again, just like a curved line here, comes around the other side. Like so, and you can leave a highlight, just a circle, and then color the rest in. Right, so then just above his eyes we have eyelid lines, so just sort of a line like so, and an eyebrow as well. So it's kind of real thin, so we just go diagonal right that way, but you can thicken up this end a little bit, right? You just add a little extra line to there, and then we'll go the other way. So we'll do eyelid line just coming across here, and then eyebrow ticks across to there. And you can kind of thicken up the front of his eyebrow a little bit. Kind of like that. His nose. So we do have a little line coming down his nose here on the right hand side of his nose, just here. Like so. And then we jump down and do nostrils. So a nostril here. Another one beside it, roughly speaking, here. Right, so his mouth, so it's real sort of flat, horizontal sort of mouth, so it goes just across, real flat line. Like so, and maybe like a little downturn sort of on the edges of his mouth there. Right, so then his chin, he's relatively pointy chin. Down underneath and up this way. So we're not really sort of in proportion really, because his head is tilted forward, right? So this eyes to nose, you'll see, is like bigger than nose to chin. Usually the nose is halfway, but his head is like tilted forward towards us. So that makes this area bigger, right? So this area is just bigger. So eyes to nose, say, goes beyond the chin. So this area is quite small, okay? But nose to bottom lip is still about the same as bottom lip to chin. So what this does, it makes it look like the character's forehead is coming towards us. So the top part of his face here, eyes to nose, just a little bit bigger than nose to chin. It's just the kind of proportion we're dealing with in this image. Usually it's the nose is halfway, but from the eyes to the chin, just not in this one. Right, so then we'll do his jaw. Up the side there. And we can't really see his jaw on the other side. We'll stop it, right? You could keep going, you could make both sides the same and then erase it afterwards, but we'll just stop here, because it goes underneath his hair and it'll make more work for us to erase it. So this one stops just like, say, in line with like his top lip or just underneath the nose, and then it curves here, right? It goes up the side of his face. Like that. This one, we have hair, right? So we'll do that hair. So it comes down from his fringe, right? So we have a kind of a V. And like lots of these spikes coming down his hair. So say like coming out from the middle here. So we want to like come out like so and then down. And this will go like back up to here, right? Like so. And then that V I was talking about, so it'd just be like, say like another side of his hair like that, and then a hairline underneath going this way. And then we have another hair spike coming down towards, like, say, the front of his eyebrow. And then hair spike here. And then this one comes down and touches his eye, so it'll come down to like here. And then it'll go back up. Now remember, hair moves, so if your hair spikes aren't exactly like mine, it doesn't matter, because hair blows in the wind and it's different, you know, every time. So right, so then the next hair spike that comes down over his eye, right? So it's gonna like cut half of his eye off. So it's gonna like come down this way. Down here, you might have like a little hair spike there. And then this will come back up. Like that. Right, and then we have a long one comes down like so. And then goes back up. This one goes real long now. Up like so. Right? And then you can erase any lines inside. Right, so then we have a couple of fringe lines coming down this side of his head. Down here. Comes back up. And then some hair blowing this way. So the wind is obviously coming across here because the hair is being pushed out this way. So we just keep adding these sorts of spikes. Like so. And then out there. And this will go up into here. Right, so on this side of his head, it's like it's all sort of messy, loads of spikes, and then it comes up to sort of hair spikes and a point sort of up here. It's more sort of, it's not like sort of the anime where it's just rough spikes coming back here. This is more of an artistic style. So they're kind of wavier spikes, look more like hair, right? So I guess we'll start at this side because it's easier. So we'll do his ear. We can see a little bit of his ear here. So it just comes down behind there. You might have some ear lines just inside. And then the side of his head, right, will come up this way. Like that, right? And we're going up like the whole height of his face. We're going up again, see? We're all the way up to there. Because his hair is sticking real high up. So just if you're wondering how high you want to get the head. Another spike here. Then we have a real big spike in the middle. It was right up to the top of my page. And then it'll come back down. That. And then we have another one here. Comes down like so. And then we have more here. Kind of get a little bit smaller as we go down, and a couple of them start to stick out this way now. Like that. There. And then this way. Roughly like this. If you want, you can add. Make them a little bit longer if you want. Right, and then we can just see a little bit of his ear in here on this one. So it goes up to there and down and in. Right, so let's see. So he's got that heavy costume, that white sort of Orochimaru snake-like costume, right? So it comes down, so his vest kind of comes down this way, right? So it comes down here. Curves around like so. And then, so it'll come back up and go in behind his ear, somewhere up here. We'll go like down this way. Down like this. And then it'll go in there. Right? And then just like a line for his neck muscle there. And under his ear, we can see some of his curse mark, like some of that black sort of stuff, just a little bit, just there. And then we have collarbones, so, and neck muscles and things. So, got like neck muscle there. Collarbone comes up and over, up this way, out towards his shoulder. Your collarbone always goes towards your shoulder. And then collarbone on this side, up, just underneath this piece of hair, up that way. Alright, so then we have another piece of his collar, sort of here. Another piece of that collar comes out from behind his head, like this way. And then what we can see of his chest muscles, just down here, like that. Right, and then shoulder comes out, down, and then in for the side of his body, so it'll go like so, and then fold line comes in here. And then we have another fold line here, like this. And then we have his waistband sort of comes across this way and down into there. And then they go up and around the back of his body, like this way. It's like his waistband. We have a rest of his shoulder and stuff. So we've lots of like fold lines and things coming out here, coming down, and his elbow will stick out here. And so just because fabric, you know, we've got lots of bumps and lines and things. And then these lines will come back in towards the bottom of his arm, then come back out this way. No one here. So lots of these sort of just fabric lines going in towards his armpit, and then we actually have his arm coming out right in here, and then it'll go down to the bottom of his sleeve, which will come back over towards his fingers. That's there, and then we have that's his fabric. Where's the end? So that's sleeve. Well, that's his waistband, so it's just here actually. So they're like the one line. This goes up behind it. That's his waistband there. And then we have some fold lines just here, like that. New one coming down here. And there's like a shoulder line or something, like a fabric line for his shoulder just there. Right, so his hand is like sitting on his waist, okay? So we've like, to the side of his hand, and he's got this arm guard and stuff, right? So I guess we start with fingers, will we? Yeah, so we kind of just go up, over, down like so. Then we have a finger sticking out here, there. And then this finger comes down. Like so, and in. And then it touches the next finger, which comes across to there. Then around the bottom. Around to here. And then his little finger just here. And this goes up and in. Right, then we have like fingernails. So say like a fingernail on top here. Like that. Like so. And then another one here. There. And then one kind of on the side here. Right, and then the back of this hand comes down. Around here. Comes in underneath his little finger. This is like a wrist guard sort of thing. And then it comes up around. It goes in underneath that way. Like so. Goes in underneath there, and then the rest of the sleeve comes down that way. And then we have that sort of snake-like stuff right on his, so there's just kind of these bumps, right? It's like a rope tied here, and his hand is sort of resting on it there. So just these sort of bumping lines. Right. And then another section here. It's hard to see it now, it's in shadow a good bit. So then more sort of comes across here. Meets Naruto's body here somewhere. And then we have the underneath. There. And then more rope. So there's that one, and then some more comes out here. And more underneath, like so. Some more coming out this way. Bum 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 bum. There. Naruto's body. Naruto's arm or something starts here. So right, we might as well get finish Naruto's arm anyway. So it comes like up this way. Real close to Sasuke's arm here, and he has a kind of a rectangle sticking off here with a spiral on his shoulder with another sort of scroll type thing just here, right? And this has a red box on top and a smaller sort of shape down here. I'm not sure, like so. And then there's this spiral kind of thing just on the shoulder. Now it's much more detailed than I'm drawn. It's like a double spiral and it's got like lots of lines and things. I'll just do a basic sort of spiral like that. And then this thing can have a dot here and kind of like a box-like edge, like so. And then his shoulder, we keep going. this way. So this is like the start of Naruto's body, so we get it in the right place. And it meets sort of his collar, which kind of comes up here. And we'll start to kind of bump around. Right. And then the side of Naruto's face and his neck, right? So the side of his face will come up here. And then we've got a neckline then there. And then the rest, so just the rest of his arm here. So it comes down his back. That's the start of his head. Right, so we'll get his head in. So we can see like a little bit of ear. So we got this U just coming up from the side of his face here. And then his ear kind of bumps out, comes over, down. And then we got like some hair spikes just here. Right, and then his headband. So we go up, starts to come over. We can see the back of it. We got like a hair spike here. This comes down to a knot sort of tied back here. So it's like this kind of bumpy sort of line like that. And then bottom of the headband here. And then we have the flowing sort of tails of the headband kind of going this way. Like so. Another line on it there, and then we'll go down. That, and then we have the rest of his collar, that sort of bumping collar, sort of coming down here. So these sort of rectangles, bumps. Kind of this wavy sort of pattern. Like this, and it comes out the other side as well. Another one here. Down like so. So they're hair spikes. And then we can see some hair spikes coming out this side. So it comes out like so. Then comes up around the back of his head. And then more headband. Out there, and then we can see some of his ears sticking out here. Line it up roughly with the other one underneath, like the back of his ear just there. Some hair should come down that way. That's his neck, so this should go down a bit longer. And another neckline just there. And then we have a couple of hair spikes up the top. And then the rest of that headband goes in. And the Sasuke shoulder comes in here, but we'll finish Naruto's sort of hair spikes first. Get them done. Up and around all the way. They gradually like kind of small and then gradually get bigger as we come to the middle, and then you get smaller as you go down the other side. so. So Sasuke's shoulder then comes out from here and goes down behind Naruto's face. So we got like a fold line here. And this goes up, goes across, and kind of up into here. And then another fold line there. And so his arm is on his shoulder coming out the other side. So fingers and hands and things are always tricky, so take your time. So he's got, again, a wrist sort of guard, right? So here, and then he's got a flowing wrist line going this way, like his sleeve, right? So flows out here, and then the rest of that wrist will come down. The wrist guard comes down like that, and then it'll come over to there. We have another line here, back inside there. Right, so then his hand, right? So he's just, his hand's just hanging down. You got these bumpy lines for fingers, right? And just it do make it sort of a bit bumpy because, you know, fingers aren't sort of straight lines. They tend to be a little bit bumpy. So it comes down the bottom, comes around, back up, and then some fingernails. There's one. Then the next finger, so it comes out, maybe a bit of a shadow here. Comes around. And up like that. Maybe a fingernail here. And then the next finger, slightly smaller, comes up. Out, up to there, another line there, and then this comes out, down, to here and around. We could have some knuckle lines and things, so like a line there, knuckle line, curved line, here, right? And so that's his wristband. Oh, and his thumb, just here, so a couple of bumps, knuckles, right, just there. And then his thumb, top of his thumb comes out around and up. You could have a thumbnail just on the side. And I think I'll add just an extra thing to Naruto's collar, just there. And then Naruto's sleeve comes out, down, like that. And then this goes around, down to there. And then bump this around, like so. Right, and then the other side of Naruto's sort of arm and body on this side comes down, kind of sticks out there. You know, and you can have some fold lines and things, like so. And then we have the spiral on the back of his chest. So a circle, right? So you could use something, you know, that's the right size to sort of draw around if you had something that was the right size. I think this might be a bit too big. Or you could use a compass, or try freehand it. And sketching it lightly at first is always the way to go. And then sort of just do a harder line then once you're kind of happy with the general shape. That's not too bad. Then we can add sort of the difference between the orange and the black, just the line across, like that. And then the spiral inside, so it just like spirals around, curving. It just goes down to the bottom, then down here. Kind of joins the outside. And maybe a full line on his arm. And the full line there. I think that's everything. Is that it? Oh no, actually, Sasuke's sword, nearly forgot. So, and there's like another section of his waistband or something here. That was close, nearly forgot his sword. Okay, so Sasuke's sword kind of comes out from behind here. So it's just, we can just see the handle of it. Comes up both sides, so it goes up here, across, and it's got like a little dent in the middle. So it comes down, up, across, back down, down to there, and then down into his waist, kind of down here. And then we have the center line for it, there, and then maybe something here. Okay, I think now that's everything. That is how to draw Naruto and Sasuke. Hope it was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.